Okay, good morning. Welcome to KPC, and good morning to those online. We're just going to take a minute to remember our motivation for being here today, for showing up and doing meditation together. And whenever we begin an activity, it's important to start with our motivation. So we are generating compassion for all beings and establishing that pure motivation. Our motivation determines the direction of our actions. So it's really important to start with this. So let's take a moment to generate that compassion in our minds, that whatever merit or virtue or whatever we learned today, that we dedicate it to all beings, that it brings immeasurable benefit to ourselves and all beings. We'll do that now. All right, so let's first begin with some opening prayers together. We will do the 7-line prayer. We'll do that 3 times together, and I will put that on the screen here. Okay. Organ yugi nu chamsam, pemage sardombola, yasan chogi nu drumne, pemajune shesudra, koryu kandro mampokor, keki jesu dag druki, Chinchilo shir sheksu sol, Guru Bema siddhi hum, Organ yugi nucham sam, Bema ge sardombola, Yasan chogi nudrumne, Bema jungne shesudra, Koryu kandro mampokor, Keki jesu dag drupki, Jinjilo shir sheksu sol, Guru pema siddhi hum, Organ yugi nucham sam, Pema ge sardombola, Yasan chogi nundrumne, Pema jungne shesudra, Koryu kandrom mampokor, Keki jesu dag drupki, Chinjilo shir sheksu sol, Guru pema siddhi hum. All right. So the meditation that we'll be doing today is called Shamatha meditation, as taught by Jetsama in her book, Stabilizing the Mind. I brought that with me today. Meditation is the natural state of our mind when it's relaxed, open, and stable. It trains our mind to be more calm and relaxed, but also wakeful and alert. So the whole point why we do this every week at KPC, and we say this again and again, the whole point of meditation is to create more space in our mind. And when we have more spaciousness in our mind, we are able to respond in more compassionate ways. We are able to balance our emotions. We are able to create a pause between our action and our reaction. And we really give the mind a moment of rest. You know, when we tap into the spaciousness of our mind and are not overthrown and taken over by the, circle of things that we have to do, and just how we kind of ruminate on things in our mind, or all the demands that we have on our modern in our modern day lives, it's very hard to come by some spaciousness in our mind. And you know, the point of meditation, in the long term, is to create that habit of mind so that we can always tap into that well of spaciousness, that well of stability, and live in that space and operate from that space. And it's very important in Buddhism because it's the first step in developing bodhicitta, which is that compassionate wish to free all beings from suffering. So if our mind is like monkey mind, jumping from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, how can we possibly even create the spaciousness or the awareness of our mind that other beings are suffering, that other beings need our help? So you want to take a comfortable seat. You can sit on the floor like I'm sitting now, or you can sit in a chair if that's more comfortable. We're going to have our spines straight, and that's the most important wherever you're sitting, and our shoulders back, our elbows back, and you can either have your hands, kind of on your knees, your thighs, or the more traditional posture is with the right hand over the left, with the thumbs touching like this, and then we'll just rest them in our lap. And we're going to just breathe naturally. It might take a few breaths to get to that natural rhythm of our breath. So it's not forced breath. We're not counting our breath. And we're keeping our eyes open. We're gazing towards the floor. Again, it's very relaxed gaze, almost like we're drawing a line to the tip of our nose down to the floor, and resting our gaze along a point on that line. And then we're going to, again, breathe naturally. And our mouth is a little bit open, so that there's some breath coming through the mouth as well. And we do this by putting the tip of our tongue on the back of our teeth, almost like we're making the sound L. So the tip of the tongue goes there. And we're very relaxed. And whenever any thoughts arise, we just let them go. And that sounds easy enough, but the more we do this, the more we create the habit of this, the easier that becomes. So as the thoughts arise, again, we don't have to look at them, inspect them, judge the thought. We just let the thought go. And again, return to the breath. So today we're focusing, our single, pointed focus is on the breath. And it's not a heavy attention on the breath. We're not thinking, okay, inhale, exhale, inhale. Okay, come back to the breath, come back to the breath. It's not like that. It's a very light attention on the breath. So if our attention has to go somewhere, it's just on the breath. Light attention on the breath. Your attention is like a feather gently riding the surface of the breath. So as thoughts come in, almost like the inhale, all the thoughts are coming in. With our exhale, we're letting go of those thoughts. If our mind feels extra busy today, we can imagine cutting the thoughts or throwing the thoughts out, just as long as we return to the breath. And having these thoughts is not inherently bad or wrong. It's very natural to have thoughts fill our mind. And we don't lose our meditation by having thoughts. We lose our meditation when we go down the road with those thoughts, when we inspect them, when we allow them to multiply into even more thoughts. So we cut that train, cut the train going down the road. We say, nope, no more, return to the breath. So we will start with a shorter session and then increase our time and then finish with a shorter session again. And if you're new to meditation, doing even, a minute, 2 minutes, and gradually increasing our time is very effective. And it's not recommended to just start with like a 45-minute meditation when you're first beginning, because it will be very hard to keep your attention during that whole time. So we're building this like a muscle. So just the same way that we take care of our bodies and we, have vitamins or we work out, we're slowly strengthening that stability of mind, that spaciousness of mind. So again, we return again and again to our, you know, meditation, just as we would maybe as we're, getting healthier, working out. We use that same muscle again and again, so it becomes easier to do. We have the habit of doing that. So we'll start with a 5-minute meditation. Just on my timer here. We'll start now. All right, so we're going to increase our time. So check the time. All right, so we'll increase our time. And again, we have a straight spine and we're gazing downward to the floor with our mouth open, the tongue on the tip of or the back of our teeth, and our hands right over left in our lap, or we can put our hands on our thighs. And again, whatever kind of distractions come up, whether they're internal thoughts or maybe something in the room that's distracting, or something we're hearing, or something maybe we're like feeling in our body. Again, we do our best to drop that and return again to the breath. So just like a bubble is, a thought might be rising like a bubble to the surface of the pond. We just let that bubble pop. We let it go. Return to the breath again and again. So we will increase our time and start now. If you need to stretch or grab some water, we're going to do a final shorter meditation to finish. But I wanted to read something out of the book, Stabilizing the Mind, Jetsuma's book, and what we're basing, the instruction today on. I found this little section here that I thought would be helpful to read. So again, before, when we're talking about how meditation can help with, balancing our emotions or whatever is arising in our mind, being able to handle that. So the kind of negative qualities of our mind too, being able to respond in better ways, in more compassionate ways when we have a strong meditation practice. So no one can get rid of desire, get rid of pride, or get rid of anger if there is not enough stability and spaciousness to look at what is in one's mind, to see how we are acting, and to see what it is going to bring about. There must be a little space to be able to do that. Otherwise, we will be one of those people who says, "But I can't help it. I always get arrogant. I always get mad. I'm compulsive." By saying, "I always do that and I can't help it," that is saying that you are comfortable with your behavior and you are willing to live that way. The attitude does not accomplish anything a practitioner wants to do. Or that attitude does not accomplish anything a practitioner wants to do. Once we have adopted the goals of Buddhism and are working on a path to enlightenment, it does not make any sense to coexist with these faults comfortably and to let them be. And so we have to do something about ourselves. So I just wanted to read that, and I'm going to just try to find some really helpful quotes to read along the way when we do this each week. So with that, let's do a shorter meditation to finish. Just check the time. Okay, so we'll do another 5 minutes together, and then we'll finish with some dedication prayers. All right, here we go. right. So now we're going to seal in the merit, the virtue, the blessings of doing this practice together, and offer it to all sentient beings. So we'll do our dedication prayers together. I'll put them up on the screen. Throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I have accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice, and all that I will ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, while their wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be as insubstantial as the dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the arising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas altogether, whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, and whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly I, who have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. By this effort, may all sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. So thank you so much for coming today, and thank you for everyone who's tuning in online. If you'd like to have more resources throughout the week, we do have a Kunzang Peo Choling YouTube page, which has a meditation playlist, which has different types of meditation on there, as well as teachings and techniques that are available to you anytime. So you can check back, and then we will see you next weekend, Saturday and Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay. Bye online.